And coming to you live from teeny tiny town that I live in. Hello, hello, hello. Right off the bat, I will say hello to Autumn and Harry Reeds and Phantom Zone. Thank you guys for being here so early. Just reading the comments. So tense. Harry, that's a little stocky-ish, whatever you want to say. Soccer. Hello, James Elkins. Hello. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Since you're new. I pick a few topics. We normally vote on them, but I've already picked two things for us that we're gonna go over. So we are going to be reading 14 of the creepiest websites on the internet to trigger you. We'll do that last because I think we're gonna try and go to each website. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll try it. And additionally, 19 people describe eerie gut feelings that prove to be correct. So, hello, Tim Willis. Hello. I should write down what the titles of what we're going to be doing here, because I know I usually repeat it throughout the live stream. If you're new here, that's what I usually do. So let me see here. I'll write this one down first. Let's see. And then Gary says roses are red. Weed makes you high. I really just wish I didn't have such terrible Wi-Fi. That was so romantic. So romantic. All right. And then the second one is 19 people describe their eerie gut feelings that prove to be correct. That'll probably be the one that we start off with. I'm going to wait for a few more people to get here. You guys can tell me how your week has been. Mine has been different. I've had a personal life event. Nothing tragic, just something unexpected happened in our family. That's good, but threw me for a loop. So yeah, kind of occupied my mind for the majority of the week. I couldn't even bring myself to record. I just couldn't do it. Plus, I did want to talk to you guys about the fact that I don't know if any of you follow any horror narrators on Twitter. Hello, Brian Mathis. Hello. If any of you follow any narrators on Twitter, even me, then you would have seen that there's a trend that YouTube is specifically targeting horror narrators, and it seems to be not the ones that over 100,000. It seems to be ones around 20 to 50,000. And they did this to Southern Cannibal and a few others. Specifically, I want to focus on Southern Cannibals because I watch his the most closely. And what they did was they sent him a message stating that he was no longer eligible for monetization because it was due to, and this is after him having multiple conversations with YouTube, multiple conversations with chats, multiple emails back and forth. And they said it was because of duplication. And they wouldn't tell him what video it was for. They're not obligated to tell him what video it was for, and that he can reapply for monetization in a month's time. I'm not really sure how that's possible, how they can just do that. My thoughts are that they want horror narrators off of YouTube so bad that they're trying to find any excuse to try and target them. But Black Eyed Blonde, if you watch her, she made it when we were having this conversation. She made a point that your maker is testing out a beta sort of thing for YouTube. So obviously YouTube knows about horror narrators and wants them here. So it'd be great if they could give us some guidelines, because it really is scary to know that you put so much time and effort into creating something and posting it on here, and then to know that they can just say, I'm just going to take your channel down, and then all of your stuff is gone. I'm in the habit of backing my stuff up, but sometimes my flash drives get a little full, so I go through and delete and figure I can come back and re-upload my videos, but I need to make it a habit to just keep them all on flash drives and set them aside. What did I miss in the chat? If anyone wants to go to my Twitter, I think it's right in the description box here. Let me see. I can just copy and paste it for you. Does it say my Twitter in here? Oh, yeah, it does. Copy link address. I don't know if it'll let me put a link in the chat here. Let me see. That seems kind of excessive. No, it didn't let me do it. Hold on. I think my chat, I don't know why. Why did it do that? It didn't just let me copy that. Hold on, let me try that. I think that literally just copied a link. Yeah, it's not letting me copy it anyway. It's just at Duchess Stark. That's my Twitter handle. Also, Black Eyed Blonde put together this massive, it's not going to be out until the end of the month, but it's this massive female narrator, horror female narrator collaboration, and it's going to be really, really good. So I'm really excited about that. YouTube be trolling. Yeah, you know it. I don't get it either. It seems to me that within the past year, excuse me, and if you don't know, I was really, really sick through May, and my voice is still back and forth. So that's another reason too. I don't know what's going on, but I'm Duchess Stark. Wow, Duchess Duck. Let's walk the line, Harry. Anyways, I was gonna wait for some more people to get here, but I think we're just gonna start reading in a second here. Because since you guys are here, I'm not gonna make you wait. That doesn't seem very fair now, does it? Does anyone have anything news to share? Or does anyone here have a channel that they want to share? I do make it a habit of making sure that if anybody takes the time to come to my channel and they have a channel, I really want you to let us know. Kahlest, hello. Kahlest has a channel also. Trying to think of. Phantom Zone says, I just have my paintball in this video game. Small channels. Yeah. I only like a few really big channels because they're really funny and entertaining. Like, I love Jenna Marbles and Julian. They're just hilarious. And I do like Shane Dawson just because he's just, he allows himself to be goofy, and I like that. But yeah. Harry reads, I make only the finest Minecraft music parodies. James, don't disrespect the Duchess. Woo. Thank you, James. You are pardoned for any future misgivings you may possibly ever do, which I doubt you will. I am sipping on a Bloody Mary whilst we read this evening, as I am over the age of 21 and older. So if you're not, no touchy the alcoholic. Okay. We're just going to start reading. Hello, whoever's here, who is not in the chat, hello. We are starting with 19 people describe eerie gut feelings that prove to be correct. This one is titled Saved Dad from Dying from an Overdose. When I was in my late teens, I was hanging out with my friend in my room. Suddenly, I started feeling panicky with something telling me to leave the house. I decided to listen to my gut and told my friend we had to go to the store right now. We went outside to find my dad passed out in his truck, looking really sick and pale. My friend and I pulled him out of the truck, and he called 911, while I performed CPR on my dad and saved his life. Later, I found out that he had overdosed and choked on his own vomit. Who knows what would have happened if I didn't have the overwhelming urge to walk to the store for no reason. He was always a drug addict, but he hid it very well with help from my mom. That was the first time I found out about his problem. We did know he was an alcoholic. Heroin was his drug of choice, though. Ooh, yikes. That's scary. Oh, Harry, sin in the name of the Father. Brian says, I wish I had the time to start my own horror narrating channel. If you're going to start, let's see, James, let's crack them open. Elana, hello. Elena, creepy true, number 15. Here's my advice for that. Because I do want to let you guys know that I'm probably going to upload a lot more to Patreon because I really do want to make a really good website because I don't feel secure with YouTube in the genre that I'm in. Horror is my drug of choice. That would make an excellent merchandise shirt, James. Horror is my drug of choice. Boom. Harry, who knows what would have happened? He would have died. Yes, Harry. That's implied. Of course. Yeah. If any of you don't have anyone who's abused substances in their family or have firsthand experience with it, it's a lot different when you're the one that's experiencing it. Yes, that would be a great t-shirt. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. Check the chat after that. And as soon as this loads. Pausing. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Okay, these are really two short ones, so I'll just keep them together. This one says, predicted Grandpa's end. When I was 8, I told my father to not go on a date that night because something bad was going to happen. He told me not to worry, that I would be fine with my grandfather. When we, grandfather and I, got back to his house, he laid on the couch and died in front of me from a stroke. Holy shit. The next one is titled, They Had Just Robbed Him. Seeing 3 people walking down my street and had the worst gut feeling that something was not right with them. I went home, and as it turns out, they broke into my home and robbed me. Wow. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. Holy crap. I love creepy true and ghost stories, but I will get a bad dream. You know what's crazy? When I started this, when I noticed that it gave me an outlet for my creative energy, and I actually rarely have nightmares now. I will have nightmares now more if I don't read these stories. So I don't know what that is, but it gives me an outlet that I psychologically must need. James says my cousin has a pill problem, but not everyone in the family knows or understands. When you dang. Wow. Oh yeah, I remember you guys. Okay. Yeah, not everybody's understanding about it. People think, yeah, I won't get into it. I won't go down that road. So, it's a lot different when it's someone that you care about and you want to help them, but you can't. It's very frustrating. It's not so black and white. Okay. Let's see. The next one is titled Mom Canceled Her Babysitting Job. Not me, but when my mother was a teenager, she was supposed to go babysitting for a family she had babysat for many times before. She had a bad feeling about it one night and called them. They pleaded with her that it would be only a few hours, but she insisted, and they said okay and got another babysitter. That night, their house was broken into, and the other babysitter was raped. I sometimes think about how different her life would be if she did go that night. My mom's been through a lot of stuff. Well, she avoided that, so it's great. Their horror movie instinct saved them. So I dropped my blind mother off to unlock the front door, and I went to put the tandem away in the shed. I get back, and the phrase horror movie and adrenaline pump through my head. I froze for a second, trying to figure out why I was so scared. My mother screams. The back door flies open, and some guy runs out. I don't know who he is, and he looks unhinged. Not like a robber. He just looks insane. Our eyes meet, and he runs back inside. I hear his footsteps and I take off, but there's no way I can get around the house before he does. Thank God my mom had already started running. He chased us about a half a block before we made it to a neighbor's house and called the police. They got there and couldn't find him. I knew he was still there and I told Mom. Right before they left, my mom asked a policeman that she happened to know, it's a small town, to look one more time. The guy was hiding under our swamp cooler. Nothing like that has ever happened to me before or after. Whew. What's a swamp cooler? Does anybody know what that is before I Google it? Black-eyed kid, sup? I think it's going to be a good weekend. Yeah, don't do drugs, kid. Yeah. Kahlest says, I have a friend whose stepson... Oh, the last comment was by Black-eyed Kid, by the way, in case anybody watches this later and can't see the chat. Kahlest says, I have a friend whose stepson just overdosed, and his 9-year-old son was the one to call the alarm. Oh, no. For Redwall, hello. Hello, everyone. Black-eyed Kid says, what's up, everyone in the chat? Brian Mathis, hello for Redwall. Brian Mathis, what's up, Black-eyed Kid? It cools the swamps. Very helpful, Harry. As usual. All right, thank you. All right, a tree fell where he had just been sitting. Probably too late to this party, but I wanted to share my story. When I was 11, I saved up my allowance and wanted to buy a toy. My dad took my sister and I to the local toy store, and I bought an awesome lightsaber. Got in the backseat of the car and we drove home. I should mention, this was during a mild nor'easter storm in 1996, and the wind and rain were just starting to pick up. We pulled into the driveway. My dad and sister got out of the car and went into the house. I was so excited about my new toy that I had to open it in the car. So I did. And while I was admiring the glory of my new Jedi weapon, I felt the Force speak to me. All of a sudden, I felt the overwhelming urge to get out of the car and go into the house. Like I have to go inside now. So I did. I walked in the door, took off my shoes, and turned around to see one of the huge maple trees in my front yard fall over in a wind gust onto the back seat of the car where I was just sitting not 30 seconds after I had the urge to go inside. I went out to look, and there was a branch piercing the seat where I was just sitting. Whoa. That's frightening. That happen to anybody else? Oh, Celtic Girl, greetings. Hello. Swamp Killer is a homemade air conditioner, I think. Oh, all right. Paul Kate, hello. Poor car. Wow, Harry. James Elkin, I don't like tomato juice, but I doubt I'll like a Bloody Mary or a Bloody Caesar. Brian. Football Master, that's my husband. Swamp Cooler is like an outside air conditioner unit, but works with fans instead of cool air made by Freon. Thank you, darling. Next, moving on. She saw her dog in danger. I let my dogs out on the balcony to lay in the sun. After about 5 minutes, I had this visual cross my mind of one of my dogs having a bad reaction to a bee sting. They had never been stung before. I opened the door to let them back in, and one of my dog's entire face was swollen up like a balloon. She had eaten a bee and had a bad allergic reaction. She's fine now, but that sucked. My dogs eat bees all the time. Even my really, really sick dog. The only thing that's like really helping my dog hold on a lot is she likes to lay in the sun and inside the kitchen where our slider is, our patio door slider. But she also likes to watch the backyard for squirrels and bunnies. And no matter how bad it seems like she's feeling, she will chase the squirrel or the bunny, like shoots off. I should record it so you guys can see it, but what up, Football Master? Welcome. Sup? Okay. Going on to the next one. Grandma kept him from hitting her. My grandma did once have a bad urge, is what they mean. This is back in the 80s, I think. So my grandma was vacuuming, and she had this terrible feeling that my aunt was in danger. My aunt was about 5 at the time. She was in the front yard playing in the driveway. My grandpa's friend was pulling out, and my aunt was right behind the car. Just before it happened, my grandma screamed, and he stopped the car, inches away from my aunt. Yeah, I've had that feeling, but sometimes I have that feeling when nothing's happening. I think that happens to you when you have kids. Let me check the chat. I like sky puppies. Are those bats? Bats are adorable. I don't care what anyone says. They're adorable. All right. The signpost went through the window. I was in a car on the freeway in the back seat when I felt super nervous, ducked, and curled into a fetal position. A couple seconds later, we crashed, and a signpost came through my window a few inches above me. Yikes. It's like Twister, but no, Final Destination. Ooh. Raise your hand if you can drive on the expressway behind a truck carrying a bunch of lumber. Let me know if that's okay with you, because that's not okay with me. I don't care how secure that lumber is. I'm not driving behind that truck. Hey, Fear the Great White. Hello. I believe he has a channel as well. Again, please always let everyone know your channel and try and post the link, or come back later and post it in the comment section so people can come to your channel. But I'm pretty sure Fear the Great White has a channel. Am I right? Oh, I think my internet got wonky for a second. Hello? I can't see anything on the... Ooh, there it goes. Raise his hand. Hand goes up. I can drive. Bats are very dope. Yes, they are. Yes. Check out Fear the Great White's channel. I knew that. There's a lot of horror narrators that I keep meaning to listen to. There's just not enough time in the day. But not everyone wants to hear my voice 24 hours a day. Maybe there's someone that does. I don't know. But they might want a variety of something they haven't heard before. So please, by all means. Kahlest has a channel also. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Are you leaving, Brian Mathis? Or are you just being super duper nice? Because that's very nice. Kahlest says, lumber on the truck doesn't bother me. It's the logging trucks with the huge logs on them that bother me. That's what I'm talking about. The giant truck trailer sized logs that are there. And all I can see is that scene of the chain coming loose and flying off there and causing a huge accident. It doesn't help that I'm like 10 minutes from work. So it's like 2 or 3 exits from my entrance to exit ramp. I've never seen so many accidents in my life since I started where I work in December. Never seen that many accidents in my life. It's not safe. So it's like an extra paranoid thing, but no, just being nice. Thank you, Brian. That's really nice. Glee says, and it has happened. Right. Gonna make me tell you ratchet straps work better. You know what works better? Me just getting the hell away from that truck. That's what works better. Final Destination. Man. All those things. The tanning salon, the Ferris wheel. What's another one of those things? Wasn't there like a javelin that went right down someone's throat? I don't know. I have to go back. There's so many of those movies. Celtic Girl says, I saw something like this in real life with the signpost in the car. It was the fatality. First time I had ever seen one. One of those cement lampposts. Whoa! How would a cement lamppost? Oh, that must have been a horrible storm. Holy moly. Yeah, I don't think you stand a chance. Even if a sign, but a cement lamppost is really heavy. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to dwell on that too long because that's really scary. All right. This says, felt something in the bushes. I was walking home from a party when I was in college. It was 6 a.m. and actually a little bright, very pretty, very quiet. All I could hear were my footsteps. I was still in my dress and heels and one house away from where I lived. A horrible feeling came over me. So I stopped, took off my shoes, and stayed perfectly still. About a minute later, I started doubting myself when a man stepped out of the hedges and looked straight at me. I turned around as casually as possible and went down an alley. As soon as I was out of his line of sight, I took off, ran to my house, locked the door, and looked out the window. He came running around the corner with a knife about 2 seconds later. Whoa. Straight out of a horror movie. This one is titled New to Turn the Phone On. So about 9 p.m. on 4/21 of this year, which actually, I don't know if it's this year, but let me go up and see what the date is on this. So this is from, well, it doesn't really say the year, so of this year, which could be any year, since it's not dated. So of this year, we'll just assume it was this year. One of our closest friends' children got on his scooter to leave our place and head home. I sleep with my phone off. Around 11:30, I woke up and knew I needed to turn on my phone. Something bad was happening. When I powered it on, the text came through asking, "Is he still with you?" We got in our car to drive his route home. He had been struck and killed less than a half a mile from our home. Oh my God. You know when people say, "Text me when you get home"? That's why. Harry reads, "Good night. Hope you have a good, nice weekend. I'll leave you with a single word. Hitler." Oh, so thoughtful, Harry. Khalees says, "Yes, ratchet straps can break too. Happened in Vancouver a while ago. Strap broke and logs came off and crushed a minivan full." Oh, the swords that cut the weight wire. Oh my God. The elevator scene. I Is there an escalator scene in one of them too? I've always been scared of escalators, but I'm not sure if there is. I know I've seen a horror scene with an escalator, but I was already afraid of those. And then the elevator scene where it comes like she's stuck there forever and then she finally tries to get out. Oh my God. Oh. The tanning bed scene with the song Roller Coaster playing. Oh my God. Nightmare Files. Hello. Nightmare Files has a channel also. Make sure you check it out if you're looking for some more narration variety. We are on 19 people who had a creepy gut feeling that proved to be correct. And I think we're more than halfway through, but we have another one right after that, which is 14 of the creepiest websites. This one is titled Don't Feel Comfortable in the Movie Theater. A friend and I went to the midnight premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. I don't live near Aurora, Colorado, but the whole night during the movie, I didn't feel safe. And I really wanted to leave because multiple people were dressed in costumes. I went over ways to escape the theater if anything happened. I went home later that night and heard what had happened. That was the theater shooting, for anyone that's trying to piece that puzzle together there. Celtic Girls says, "Do we ever do Gothic on this channel?" My very favorite. Gothic what? You mean like stories? What constitutes Gothic? Because I'm not sure. James says, "The car wash scene." Brian says, "I hate escalators. I always get a panic attack when I go on them." Me too. All I do is horror on this channel. Anything that's dark. But also, I have done a couple of love stories and I really like sad or dark love stories. I love those too. But that's another reason why I don't have creepy pasta in my name. I didn't want to be boxed into just one type of thing. So, yeah. I do horror. Actually, I have a pile of stories submitted by you guys. I'm going to make an announcement, but you guys will be hey, bitty bitty. You guys will be the first ones to hear it. So if you don't know, if you're new to my channel, last year I did an art contest, and you can see in the about section and in my description box, Pink Spooky's link for her to my merch store, the thing that she created. It's at cost, so I don't get any profit from that because I didn't think it was right. But I did have a contest, and that there's a link to her channel, and then you can see the channel art, and the winning person gets their stuff all over the place, bragging rights for a year, shout outs for a year. I love crappy pastas. I do. If you know of any, please send them to me, or send me links. Or best way to do it is my email, duchessdark676@gmail.com. That way it won't get lost in the shuffle. And make sure you let me know that you send me an email too, because sometimes it goes to spam and it's really hard to dig through that. Quentin Dixon, hello Duchess. Hope your day is going well. It is. For Redwall says, can you read some creepypastas? Already read that. Bitty Bitty says, hello Nightmare Files. Football Master 49, my drawing was the best. My husband thought he was hilarious by drawing a fan because it was fan art. So he drew a fan. Anyway, so I'm going to announce a couple of different things. The art contest will be probably during August and September. I haven't made a final decision on that, but I know that every year Creeperoni had a short story contest. So I contacted her to see if she was going to do it this year, and she said she was not. So I asked if I could host one because I didn't want to step on her toes because that's her thing. But this year she isn't going to be doing it, so I'm going to do it. I'm not sure if I should do the art contest first or the short story contest first. What do you guys think? Because I know I get a lot of submissions for short stories. And if anyone sent me one already and you want to use that for your submission, that'd be great. Well, no, you can just shout out titles if you know titles of any. That'd be great. I like anything from that. Where did Celtic Girl? I have over 300 videos on my channel. I know that you're gonna find something that you like here, from the not so dark to the extremely dark. Just a lot to weed through. I separated the creepypastas and the true stories. Some of the creepypastas are just woo, yikes. And same goes with the true stories. It just so happens that sometimes they're neither. But I don't really have a prerequisite for that. So anything that's on the dark side. Probably one of the darkest and people's favorites is about a year ago. There was a Confessions of Evil Part 1. I don't think it says Part 1. I just think it says Confessions of Evil. And they're just some downright horrible people admitting some terrible things. There's quite a few creepypastas, though, that are really, really dark, and I really, really love them. There was 3 things I wanted to tell you guys, too. So my Patreon is not just me. It's several other narrators. And the point of that is to build a website to shy away from YouTube. I don't think I'll ever completely leave YouTube unless it just shuts itself down due to its wonderful technology it's using. So I'll never do that, but I'm starting a birthday club on Patreon. So if anyone's a Patreon or a patron for 3 months or more and it's their birthday, then they can pick any story that they want, and I'll record it and send it just to them. Like, no one else will get to listen to it but the person whose birthday it is. And being a patron is $1 a month. $1 for a whole month. So just throwing that out there. Not going to mention it a whole lot. The links are all in there, and everybody knows it's been here for a while. What I'm trying to accomplish, it's a lot harder than it sounds. I'll tell you that. Let me read the comments again. Duchess is a phenomenal narrator. There's always something on her channel for everyone. Yeah, I think so. I try to do true stories. I got Serial Killer Saturday, Celtic Girl, is really dark. But again, I don't know if you throw that in the horror. Probably more creepypastas would be like horror. I'm trying to think of some of the worst ones that I've done. I don't mean like the terrible story, but I mean like the scariest ones I've done. I think one of them that I did was really, really scary to me was BIID, which was the body integrity identity disorder. I don't think I said that right, but if any of you guys listened to that, it was wow, that was a trip. Or let me see. I'm gonna look at them. I'll give you some recommendations if you're kind of new here. There was a few that I read. When I read them, I was like, holy crap. Sometimes I read something and I'm like wondering, should I put this up? Because it's really messed up. Um Gone with the Sin. That is messed up. What is your pleasure? I really loved reading that, and I had given Derek Hawk, which is Sid Sidious Creepypastas, I gave him audio like last year, totally forgot about it. And he did like some special effects and made this really cool video, and I really loved how it turned out. Rapture in Reverse, I just did. That was pretty cool. That was by Creeper. He submitted that. It's really cool when people write a story and trust me with their stories. That's an honor. So thank you. I'm trying to find the most messed up ones where I think probably you don't want true stories, right? Celtic Girl? Because I think probably the scariest ones to me are the Serial Killer Saturday, because made up monsters. I mean, people are the scariest monsters of all. And that's if Serial Killer Saturday has taught us anything, people are the scariest monsters of all. I might have to use that as my tagline at the end. I have not collabed with your maker. I don't think if he's ever collabed with a female, it's definitely not his, blah, blah, blah. It definitely hasn't been me. I've collabed a lot with Mortis Media and Unit 522. Most recently, it's been a while since I collabed with a whole bunch of people. For a long time, I was collabing with a lot of people, but it's been a while. I owe Mr. Saberine some lines. If you don't know him, he's got like that radio voice. It's just crazy deep and strong without any effort whatsoever. It's just naturally deep. Oh, Redwall says, hold on, let me scroll up a second so I can read that. This is not cooperating with me here. Okay. For Redwall says, I put some of your videos on when I was working on my accounting homework a couple of semesters ago, and I don't know why this memory sticks out, but I want to thank you for your work. Oh, thank you. Black Eyed Kid, I absolutely agree. Oh, that's really nice, Brian. It's really nice. I don't like fantasy horror. I like your short fantasy. That I loved that story too. Strawberries and Wine. I like much of the genre. Just love period drama gothic horror. The best by far. I will look for sure. Vampire. I can see you writing books. Vampire. Who's Vampire? Okay, Champagne and Caviar. Oh, Blood and Strawberry Wine is a story title. Yeah, some stories that I've done, I just feel like were so cool, but I don't want to dote on it. I don't feel like it's me when I listen back to it, because I feel like when I read someone else's story, I take on something else outside of myself, if that makes sense. So when I listen to it put together with the music and the small visual and the story and my voice, I don't think of it as me, if that makes sense to you. So when I really like something, it's just, don't get me wrong, it takes a long time to get used to hearing yourself back. It's really cringy at first, but then you find your cadence and it's fine. One of my favorite, and it's sad, but I really, really love I Remember by Dark Scholar. That's under my creepypastas. It's from January 2nd. I really love that story. It just, when I listened to it and when other people listened to it, just broke their heart. Hopefully you get to, it's only 6 minutes, but it's a powerful 6 minutes to me. I don't want to talk it up too much and then you really listen to it and then you don't like it. Oh no, bye Kahlest, bye. He collabed with Eden. Yeah. I haven't does Eden still doing anything on her channel? I would love to collab. Love a collab between you and Mr. Nightmare, Duchess. Does Mr. Nightmare ever collab with anybody? I've never seen that. I've never seen that. If you know, please let me know. I'm trying to go through and find some creepy. My Son Killed Santa. That's a Christmas horror story for sure. If anybody remembers that one. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm just waiting for the next page to go. Let me check the chat. That's really nice. We has cookies. Yeah, Dark Scholar, Creeper, Brian Morrow writes a lot. There's Mark Selby, Jen Parsons, I'm drawing a blank, Nick Boddick. When I first started out, I don't know how long any of you have been here. My daughter wrote a letter to Satan. Whoa. Oh, is that a crappy pasta? Is that what you're talking about? Or is that the collab between? Yeah, very few of the big ones collab with women. And it's just a fact. I don't know who has more subscribers, Madame Macabre or Rainbot. If there's a lady that has more than that, will you guys tell me? I know that Kaylee Elise is getting up there. If you guys ever watch her, she's true crime. But I like to read true stories, true crime, and creepypastas because I like all three of those. So then I tend to do things that I would like to hear someone else do. So that's just what I do. We shouldn't be here. Ooh. I'll check it out. I'll try to get permission from the person. If that's from Reddit, people from Reddit get super pissed when you read their stories. You don't ask them for permission, which I'm finding that I guess a lot of people had done that. So, yikes. If I can't get permission from the person, I'm not touching it. I'm going to write that down though. So I can. So I'll put it as a note in my phone, and then it will allow me to remember. I don't know how much longer it's going to take for technology invent something where your phone just reaches out and smacks you and it says like, hey, remember you're supposed to do this. That would be great. Make that happen. Apple will probably make it happen first. Corpse husband has returned. Yes, I saw that too. That's great. My daughter wrote a letter to Satan. Sorry, I'm just making sure I save this in my notes in my phone. And I can write down other stuff too. Okay. I'm partial to female narrators. There are definitely some great male ones, but for some reason, I am really particular about their vocal tone and intonation. Intonation? I know what you mean. Yeah, me too. But you know, one person that I will always like drop what I'm doing when they release something is Lazy Masquerade, but I think that's because he just uploads whenever. Just whenever. But he was one of the first ones. Him and Your Maker and B-Buster were one of the first ones, and then like I think it was about 6 months later that I found Unit and I watched him like upload. He was uploading like crazy to build up his channel. He busted his butt to build that channel. If you don't remember watching his channel like that, it was a lot of work and he made it happen. I know on the few times that I upload for like usually in October I try to upload daily, but it's just I've found the more I upload like that, the less people watch. I don't know why that is, but let me see. I was just going to go through those really quickly again. I mean, still, because there's some of them that I really, really liked. The hide behinds, but they're, my favorite ones are probably the micro horror stories. Celtic Girl, the micro horror stories are just my favorite. There's two in particular I really like, and they're from October. Yeah, those are probably my favorite ones, the micro horror. Those, I feel like those are the scariest ones because people don't even let you, they don't even, they figured out a way for you to care about a character you've known for 35 seconds and rip them to shreds. And you're like, oh, that's some brilliant writing, I think. Um, Elena says, but that corpse husband was from a narration from years ago. He might not return for a while. He says, yeah, I was reading that too, Elena. This world is a strange one. Darkness Prevails. I watched him when he hit his 50,000. I had just started my channel, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to follow you. We need more female horror narrators." And now it's like 2 years later, and he's got like, do you have over 300,000 now? Something like that. This world is a strange one. I can hear, well, just reading that, I can hear it in his voice. Okay, let's go back to these stories we were on. I don't know how many more, because some of them are really short. We might be almost done here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 more. This one's rather a couple paragraphs long, but okay. This one is called, if you're new, we're reading 19 people who had a creepy gut feeling that proved to be correct. And this one is titled Unusual Nightmare Aftermath. So when I was about 12 years old, I had a nightmare one night that I could see my identical twin sister standing outside on the porch, waving her arms at me as if to dissuade me from coming outside. She looked dead and was lit up by this eerie green light. It was so scary that I can still see it vividly in my mind today. When I woke up, my heart was thudding in my chest. Normally, when I had a nightmare, I often did as a kid, I would wake up my stepmom, who would take me downstairs and make me some cocoa, and we would sit at the kitchen table and talk about it until I felt better. That's really nice. That night, for some reason, I stayed put in my bed and could not bring myself to wake her up. The next morning, we were awoken to a shouting downstairs. A man who was drunk or stoned or something had broken into our back porch, the porch connected to the kitchen, where I'd have been with my stepmom. He stripped down naked inside the porch, messed with some of my dad's tools, and then at daybreak had gone outside when we heard our neighbor lady hauling our trash to the curb. She'd thought it was my father and called out to him, at which point he'd gone after her. Police were called and he was taken away. There were all kinds of hunting supplies and tools on that back porch, including a hatchet. I shudder to think what would have happened if we'd wandered downstairs in our nightgowns and had just been on the other side of a pane of glass. Thanks, sis. Oh my God. Let's see the chat. I like Dark Somnium male storyteller, and then also the English Scottish accent narrators. Yeah, Goblin and what's another one of them that's Scottish? English. Well, there's all kinds of English and Scottish ones actually. Let's see. I watch his videos. Dr. Surveil is one of my favorite horror narrators. Yes, Phantom Zone, Somnium. His tone is magnificent, very organic. He doesn't try to sound like anything else. It's just himself. This one is titled, He Avoided Getting Crushed. Not me, but my dad. He told me he was helping his friend jumpstart a car alongside of the road. The front ends of both cars are facing each other, and he's in the middle hooking up the jump leads. He said he had this gut feeling that he shouldn't be where he was, and took a few steps back away from the cars. A semi proceeded to smash into the back of the car not 30 seconds later, crushing the two cars together in a huge wreck. Thank God for that gut feeling. Ooh, dum dum dum. And checking the chat. Okay, we're going back to reading. They avoided dying in a ferry wreck. Not me, but my dad. My family and some of my parents' friends were supposed to go abroad to take part in a wedding. The day before we were supposed to go, my dad woke up after a nightmare in full panic. I remember thinking it was scary to see, a grown-up being so afraid of a nightmare, but it resulted in us not going. And I was so mad because I had been looking forward to it for ages, told all my friends at school about it, but Dad refused to go. That was September 28th, 1994. The country we were supposed to visit was Estonia, and the ferry we were supposed to be on sank that night, where 852 people died. My father later described the feeling as an alarm inside of his body, shouting at him that this is wrong. It will not end well. Do not do it. The alarm was so strong it couldn't be ignored. It's not like a normal worry before you make a long trip. Not at all. The normal worry is like a car alarm going off on your street. You notice it but pay no attention to it and it goes away. This was more like an explosion inside of him. Yikes. Let's see here. I've been meaning to watch the new Halloween trailer. Gorgeous Estonia. I don't really know too much about Estonia. It's ironic because we had some. Anyway, let me see here. Had a bad feeling about a kid on a bike. I used to live down a long driveway with a fence and a bush either side at the top, which made it impossible to see pedestrians walking along the footpath until they were either walking in front of the driveway or I was already at the top and out of the driveway. So driving up one day, I had this bad feeling a kid on a bike was going to come past and I'd end up hitting him. So I drove as slow as possible until I reached the top. Kid with a bike comes across the driveway. I hit her because I was going slow, so she fell off her bike, but no one was harmed. Both car and bike were fine. She was shocked and in tears because of the shock, but physically unharmed. Okay. I don't know why I assumed that person telling that story was on a bike. Anybody else? Let's see here. Check the chat. Band practice. All right. James says I am going to see Halloween in theaters on opening night. Oh, I love me some Halloween. I loved Halloween H2O. If you haven't seen that, she had moved away and changed her name and was working. She was like a principal at a private school, and her and her son lived there, and they were like surrounded by a gate and the security, and her crazy brother still got at them. And it's not a spoiler alert. That movie's been out for a long, long time. Ooh, yeah, go late. Oh, so then when you get out of the movie, you're super creeped out and you keep looking over your shoulder. Oh, the trailer looks good. I just hope the movie lives up to the hype. Just watched Resurrection. Okay, let's see here. I think we're on the last one. Yeah, this is the last one out of 19 people describe an eerie gut feeling that proved to be correct. This last one is titled, Kept People from Getting Hit by a Car. I've had the same feeling happen twice to the same type of issue. A couple of years back, I was sitting in an intersection. I saw the lights turning red for the other direction, and I noticed a truck coming up from my left. It didn't feel right. I laid on the horn and held my hand out the window, hoping the people across the street and the guy next to me would wait. They did, thankfully, and he plowed on straight through a red light, which would have been right into the first two people turning that looked at me. Same thing happened today at another intersection. This time it was someone looking at their phone. She blew straight through the red. I had my hand on the horn and the other out the window, and once again they looked at me and didn't move. Today I sped up and tailed the car, called 911 and reported it. I would have had it on my dash cam if I had remembered to turn the thing on when I was leaving the store. Oh. Who has a dash cam in their car? Is that a normal thing people have somewhere? Like maybe not in America? You guys let me know if you have a dash cam on your car. Just something you have. Jamie Lee looks pretty badass in the trailer, guns and all, women and guns. Brian says, yeah, I'm in a terrible cover rock band. Hey, that's fun. It sounds like it's probably fun. Like and subscribe. But the feel of the original Halloween is incomparable. Too scary for words. You know, you're so right. There's some things that shouldn't be remade, but I like the continuing story of this. I really, really do. What was the really, really stupid one? Was it Halloween 3 where they did like does anybody remember? Where they did like the masks and the TV commercials and it was so like not like all of the other ones? Does anybody remember that? Yeah. That was ugh. Which one was the one where they were at the like Corey Feldman was a little kid in it. I think it's Halloween 4. And they were at like an orphanage or like not an orphanage, but it was for like troubled youth or something like that, and they lived out in the middle of nowhere. Season of the Witch. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that was not good. I was so disappointed in that. I remember being a kid wanting to see that, so excited about it, and then like, oh, that sucked. It was not good. Okay. So for this next part of this, I found this thing that's 14 of the creepiest websites on the internet to trigger you. Know, I'm going to try and have us go to these. Oh no. The first one is about Best Gore, which I didn't even think you could go to. I thought they took that website down. It's a Canadian shock site with graphic videos of things like beheadings and dismemberment. And if you know me at all, like I like horror, but I have a certain feeling about respecting the people that have passed away. And I'm very specific about this. I will not, there's certain things I will not bend on. And I deeply feel in the core of my being that is beyond disrespectful to take pictures of the dead in any manner whatsoever for entertainment or to be passed around to people that didn't know them. It's dehumanizing, and I will not participate in that. And I'm not a fan of gore anyway. But I'm giving you this, giving you this story, just giving you my 2 cents. To each his own. Yeah. It's still up. Wow. Okay, we're not going to go to that one. So, just so you know, number 1 is Best Gore, and we're not going to that one. I remember when this guy was arrested. Yeah. I'm not saying what he did was wrong. I'm not going to say what he did was wrong because he didn't murder anyone. He was just letting people post their stuff. But I guess you see what happens when people don't have any rules and they just do whatever they want. I don't know. Why can't people just be good on their own? Just be good so we don't have to be so regulated. Number 2 is plane crash info, audio of plane crash pilots' last words and more. Gives you accident stats, reports, maps, photos, and last words of plane crash victims. Want to read the transcript from the Flight 93 cockpit on September 11th, 2001? Of course not. Unfortunately, this creepy website gives you that and more. Oh, wow. So let me just share the screen with you guys for a minute. And I'll let you guys let me tell. Oh, uh-oh. Are you guys still there? It looks like it was filtering for a second. Season of the Witch was garbage. Touche. I'm going to let you guys vote on it. Rotten is taken down. I don't know what Rotten is. Maybe it's in this list. I haven't read through it yet. But I'm going to let you guys vote on whether we go to the website or not. So we're not going to go to Best Gore. That's without a doubt. Plane crash info. It doesn't look as bad, but I can't guarantee that I go to this website and there's not like well, let me go to the website and see. How about that? I'll go to the website first myself and see. It looks like just piles and piles of accidents. just accumulated. I'll just show you guys here. You can scroll with me for a second. Let's go on a journey together, shall we? Would you like that? Let's see here. Is this where it's at? All right, let's share that. So you guys should see in a second images of this. Is called planecrashinfo.com. Now, I didn't see any human remains, but I mean, just knowing the fact that when these planes crashed, there were people inside of there. And when you're looking at that, there is no way someone was just totally fine after that. I mean, I don't think a loaf of bread would be fine. Oh, shit. There's one here, and I can't understand why is this red circled. There's like someone peeking out of this cockpit window. Do you guys think that's a ghost? Or what the heck is that? This one, it looks like that plane crashed so hard it's just dust. This was in 2018. I don't remember hearing anything about that. That's from Georgia. Does anyone remember that? Goodness gracious. More recent accidents. Well, I think we're good on that, so we will stop sharing for a second. Ooh, I almost pushed stop broadcast. Stop screen sharing for a second. Man. It's just now going across the screen for me where you guys are seeing the accident photos there. Yeah. So then I'm going to move on to the next one. Oh, no. Number 3 is Fifth Nail, a convicted serial killer and violent sexual predator blog. Fifth Nail is the blog of a convicted serial killer and violent sexual predator. The pedophile who has been raping young people since he was a teenager in the 70s also happens to be an avid blogger. This blog is rarely updated, but the sex offender and murderer, Joseph E. Duncan III, reportedly handwrote posts from prison and sent them to a creep who typed them up on the site. People who want to get inside the mind of a maniac can browse the scary online journal. See, I'm a fan of getting inside the mind of a maniac. I'm not a fan of allowing the words of a person who has freely had no remorse for harming others repeatedly, getting more exposure. There are two different things. So I'm going to let you guys let me know if you want to see that website or not. Let me just take a peek at it first and see how bad it is, and let you guys vote on it. Let me see. You guys can still hear me, right? I don't see anything new in the chat. It's not like... Not uploading. Fifth Nail Exposed Chronicles. Oh my god. Let me see the chat here. I can't see. This is still here. What's wrong with this? I have to reload it. Crap, I can't see it. Hang on, if anyone's actually talking to me, I couldn't see the chat uploading, and it said error, try again. And now I have a commercial on it. So it must have ended itself. Did it end itself? I'm really confused right now. Okay, I literally... Is anyone still here? I had to reload it. Oh, and then it says error, try again. Let me know if you can hear me. Otherwise, it might be over without it's out of my control at that point. I just noticed that the chat wasn't loading. Oh, no. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good. Blah. Okay, good. Okay, so did anyone vote on, oh, hello, Kingzo Upshire. All right. Did anyone say that they wanted to go to the Fifth Nail website? I'm scanning through it and it just looks like a lot of writing. One of them is titled Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017, Merry Christmas from Death Row. I can read that if you want instead of going to the website. I'll let you guys decide. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next website. YouTube probably didn't like that website stuff. Maybe. I don't know. Are you still getting error messages? Oh, no. I'm getting error messages. Hmm. How about now? It's not letting me write anything, so if you guys can hear me, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I wonder if there's certain words, if you say them like just the websites themselves, I wonder if they just won't let you continue to talk about them like they're that bad. I don't know. I'm going to see if you guys can hear me. Reloading again and waiting for the chat, and I can't see the chat at all. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, that's good. I'm going to guess that I have to skip on these websites. Let me see if I can leave you the link in case you guys want to see it yourselves. I don't know if anyone really wants to see that, but just in case you want to see that, I'll leave the link in the chat. Let me see if it lets me. Oh, the link is too long. I'll leave it in the comment section. I'll mark it off and leave it in the comment section. You guys can check it out for yourselves. Just in case you want to see it. Not that I recommend, but I mean, I know that some of you really like to get inside of the crazy stuff. All right. How long have we been doing this? About an hour? That's not very long. Should we keep going? Or are you guys sick of hearing me talk yet? Let's move along. Agreed, sir. All right. I know I have some other ones stashed aside for you guys. Don't I always? Blah, error messages again? Still? Hey, you're back again, eh? That was weird. You're playing Skyrim? I don't know what's up with that. I just think that I couldn't talk about those websites, and that was really screwing me up. So we'll move on from that. I have some other stories set aside. I just have to get to my little box where I save them. So just hold on a second. And you guys let me know if you're seeing error message again, please. Check. I really tried to make sure as many people as possible knew about the live stream as possible, because it seems like when I upstream or live stream, people will say, "Oh, I didn't know it was happening. I totally forgot about it," or I don't know, something along that line. So I try to make sure that I scheduled it far enough in advance for people to have a chance to come and intermingle and chat and listen to stories and listen to me screw up while I read stories, because who doesn't like someone who makes mistakes all the time? Let's see. I set something aside for myself, I believe, right here. I think it was one. Actually, it's a creepypasta, and I know you guys probably don't want to hear a creepypasta because the majority of you guys want true creepy stories. It's a summer job story, so I will look in my saved stories here. Hold on. Just give me a second here. Chat amongst yourself. I'll give you a topic. Bloody Marys. Just kidding. People who live in remote places describe the creepiest things they've experienced in the wilderness. Or people who have found secret rooms inside their own homes, and some are downright creepy. I'll let you guys vote on that, if you can still hear me. No. But you can schedule them in advance if you're thinking far enough in advance. So I scheduled it this morning for tonight, hoping that because when you schedule it, it pops up. It pops up on Twitter and it pops up on here, and then you can post it everywhere. And then when you go live, it's like a double exposure type of thing. So we've got one vote for secret rooms. So the stories are secret rooms or middle of nowhere stories, which seem to be kind of a popular topic. Just saying. Whatever one I don't do, I'll probably do a video on. Thinking. We have one vote for secret rooms. So I'm going to let one more vote creep in there somewhere. No one else have a say-so. Secret rooms it is. All right, here we go. Just a moment, please. Give me a moment, please. Just a minute, please. Hold on, please. Does anyone want to tell me the most annoying part of their week or the best part of their week? Just while we're chatting amongst ourselves. Duchess, my band is playing at a friend's party tomorrow night. What's the first song we should play? Name the song and band. Haha. Welcome to the Jungle. Guns N' Roses. Secret rooms are secret. It's best if you don't find them. Sex dungeons. Secret. You know what? Who knows what we're going to find in this little thing here. And it didn't say how many, so I guess we're just going to go along for the ride. All right. This one is a room covered in dusty handprints. I didn't do this story already, did I? No, I think I was getting ready to, and I didn't. Stop me if I have, because I honestly doubting myself right now, but I'm pretty sure I didn't do this one. Yeah. Anyway, this one is a room covered in dusty handprints. We hit a snag. Let's see, copy and paste. Something was going on with my computer. I'm not sure what it is, but if you're new here, I have a computer that when I get the opportunity to. Oh, wonderful. Great. And it's messing with me again. I don't know if you can hear me. What the heck? Okay, so you can hear me, but the screen looks like it's rendering. Fox and socks. Hello, Element. Fox and socks. All right, let's see here. You guys said you can hear me, right? Because I can see a green screen in front of me, and it looks like it's rendering. I'm not sure why it would be rendering since it's a live chat. You know why it's not Dark Duchess? Because there was like 3 African-American girls who had makeup channels, and they were called Dark Duchess. So it just worked out that way. Honest to God. I wanted dark in my title, but I didn't want pasta because, as you know, I don't only do pasta. So, YouTube trolling again. It sure the hell is. I'm not sure what the heck is going on here, but it is super annoying. Oh my goodness. I don't know if any of you else have a computer that's like this. I don't know if it's the computer, the internet, or YouTube, or what it is. But I just want to take this computer outside, have someone toss it in the air, and then just blast it into 1,000 pieces, and just it'd be so satisfying to watch this thing. But don't stop working, baby. Don't stop working, computer baby. I love you. Okay. It looks like it stopped rendering. Can you hear me? Creepy ghost. Yeah, Element, we were already talking about that. Southern Cannibal, all those guys got demonetized completely, not just a video, their whole channel. So I did express that I would be very leery and very lightly be uploading to YouTube and predominantly to my Patreon to find a more secure place, which was the whole point of me starting a Patreon in the first place. It's just accumulating there until we have enough funds to hire someone to build a website. So yeah, true story. Likely Wi-Fi is crap. We should pop over on Twitch. YouTube is a douche. Yeah, they're fixing what wasn't broken. Office Space. What about Office Space? Office Space. I don't know. Okay. We are going to be reading. People have found some creepy rooms inside their homes. And, people have found secret rooms inside their own homes, and some are downright creepy. This is a room covered in dusty handprints. When I was in high school, my dad purchased an old Victorian he intended to flip. Are you sure I haven't read this, you guys? I feel like I've read this before. Oh, yeah. Yep. Picture that whole scene, only mine would just fly up in the air. Psh, a dinosaur duck. I feel like I've read this story before. Okay. Before I got around to working on it, he let me hang out there with friends. It seemed pretty cool until the first night, and only night, we decided to spend the night. We set up an old TV, DVD player, and basically made the whole empty living room a big lounge sleeping area with beanbags and blankets. It was getting pretty late when we started to hear noises coming from upstairs. It sounded like scratching and rustling. Nothing too freaky, probably mice or something. Well, one of the guys that was over decided we should go investigate. We headed up the stairs and used our phones for a light as none of the fixtures upstairs had light bulbs. We were walking through the hall, getting closer and closer to the noise. We got to the huge built-in bookshelf at the end of the hall, and the noise somehow seemed to be coming from behind it. My friend started knocking on the wall around it to see if it stirred up any more noise. We were still assuming some kind of animal or something. He started monkeying with the shelf and managed to pull the entire thing toward us, and it ends up being a freaking door to a hidden room. Of course, we were giddy, because this was some shit you only read about or saw on the movies. We shone our phones into the room, and it was straight out of a horror film. Filth everywhere. Super old-looking kids' toys, spider webs, and the creepiest part of all, super deep scratches on the back of the bookshelf from fingernails. You could even see the dirty handprints that went along with them. It was something of nightmares, and we got the hell out of there quick. Definitely one of the scariest things I've ever seen. I swear I've read this before. Hey, damn gypsy. Woo, you made it. Are you guys sure I haven't read this before? It seems like I have. I don't know. I don't know. Old MacDonald had a dungeon. It sure does seem like I've read this before. If you guys recognize it, will you please stop me before I'm just like redundantly reading this to you? Old MacDonald had a dungeon. Oh, somebody was hoping this would be in there. I was working at a 100-year-old abandoned farmhouse several years ago. My coworker and I were told to find the well for the house since they were thinking about developing the property. After looking around for a while, we figured it might be in the old house. I grabbed my flashlight, and we headed in through a window that wasn't boarded up very well. The place was creepy. The second floor had a burned goat carcass and pentagrams drawn in ash all over the walls. So that started the chills and goosebumps. We eventually made it to the basement where I almost fell into the very deep well at the end of the steps. Not sure how deep it was, but our 25-foot tape measure wouldn't hit the bottom. Oh, yeah, that would kill you probably for sure. Anyway, my curiosity was still running wild, so we went searching around the basement. My coworker noticed that one of the stone walls didn't go up to the floor joist, and he pointed out that it was probably a fake wall. Good call on his part. He boosted me over the wall, and I helped him climb over. The first room was empty and nothing exciting, just dark, wet, and cold. Looking around, there was another wall with an opening, and I decided to go first again, and I was boosted over the wall. My coworker thought it'd be funny to hang onto my flashlight for a while I stumbled in the dark. Finally, he tossed it over to me, and that's when I began freaking out. This room had chains built into the walls with wrist and ankle shackles. The walls had scratch marks from nails, I'm guessing from someone trying to escape. I lasted about 30 seconds in the room before I started to dash over both walls, the well, and right out of the window we climbed through to get into that creepy house. I don't think it was just the shackles or the scratch marks that creeped me out, but the ice-cold chills that shot down my spine like there was something truly evil lurking in that place. Holy crap! That's terrifying. Oh, it doesn't matter. We're on the rooms now. We've moved on with our lives. All right. Have fun at band practice. Hello, Roger Hensley. We've already read quite a few things here. We're like in the middle of this. Take your pants off, kick your feet up, and listen to your Royal Highness. That's funny. Okay. We are reading people who have found secret rooms in their homes. And we just got into this one. So this one's titled Don't Disturb Ghosty. So one Halloween, after we had lived in our house for about 8 years, a dad was taking his kids trick-or-treating, stopped at the end of our driveway, and complimented us on our house. The original house was around 100 years old, but when we bought it, we had it remodeled extensively. He said that as a kid, he was always terrified of the house and the old lady who lived there. He then proceeded to tell us about how when he was a teenager, he and his friends would dare one another to go into the woods behind our house, dig up the dirt over the trap door, and climb down the ladder to the tunnel that led to a door in our basement. Needless to say, we checked out our basement, the part from the original house, and sure enough, behind the furnace is a bricked-over doorway. We've searched the woods for a bit but haven't found the trapdoor or the tunnel. The oddest bit of all, when my kids were very young, before we learned about the tunnel, they would never cross the room directly above the basement where the door was. They said Ghosty lived in the wall and she scared them. Oh, yikes. I've had a dream about a door like that, and I swear to God, it literally was, and I didn't know this at the time, but that outside, I don't know what the inside of this house looks like, but the outside of this house that this imaginary room door was in is like 4 blocks or 5 blocks from my house right now. And that I don't know why the dream was scary, but it was like people were ghost hunting in this house in my dream, and we found this door, and the door led to something else. I just remember feeling terrified. I don't remember anything happening scary in the dream, but yeah, that was really scary. I don't know. I don't even know why that was scary. That's not even that scary. And yes, these are real stories. All right, moving on to the next one. The Coraline door. So there was this teeny Coraline-like door in my bedroom closet that was hidden when the regular door was open and against the wall. It led to a finished attic room that I'd hide in to scare my parents. I didn't mention the room's existence until we had lived there for a couple of years. And then my parents stole it for storage space. Yikes. Like, I know that probably, I don't want to try and sound historical, but I know that if someone had like a family member that they were ashamed of because of a learning disability or a deformity, they always keep them in like a attic bedroom or something like that to keep them away from other people. So I always wonder if that's why some of those rooms existed. As far as the other room with the chains, the shackles, I don't know why that room would exist ever. Is this actually rendering again? You have got to be kidding me. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I really hope that you can. Let me get rid of that thing right there. And that thing right there. I can't see anything in the chat. I don't know if people just aren't typing something or I just can't see something. Man, that's frustrating because I can't tell. It doesn't say live. Oh, you can. Okay, thank goodness. All right. I have to wait until you say that because I honestly can't tell. That's very frustrating. I'm sorry. Okay. The next one is titled Fancy High School Freaky Secret Rooms. Awesome. Okay, so I went to a high school that was built years ago, maybe 200 or 300 years ago. Really? That seems, I mean, wouldn't that be like the size of a house, like a small house? That's how schoolhouses were. Wouldn't that have to be in a big city? Historical people, can you let me know? Huh. Ooh. Oh, you have? Okay. All right. Okay, so anyway, they're claiming that their high school was built 300 years ago. So maybe that's not in America then. That's probably like, I'm going to say England, maybe? Anybody that's not an American, just go ahead and chime in on that. So my friend and I noticed that these hatches, they were about 6 feet off of the floor next to all the toilets. For context, the school was based around a quad, so there was a toilet, some stairs at each corner of the quad. So obviously we had to check these hatches out and did so during a drama lesson that we snuck out of. So we got inside and there was a corridor under the actual corridor, which was only about 4 to 5 feet tall. So we had to crawl through. The corridors connected all the toilets, and then there were vents at the top of the walls that fell at skirting board level in the classroom so we could watch lessons going on, which was cool. There were tons of pipes and electrical wiring. I'm going to pause because does anybody a Harry Potter fan? I remember when I think it was part 2 when they were in the bathroom going through all those tunnels. Moving on. I'm such a nerd. Anyway, crawl through. The corridors connected to the toilets. Oh no, that was the wrong part. Okay, there were tons of pipes and electrical wiring and other non-interesting shit that you would expect, apart from one corner of the quad. The hatch for this one was locked from the inside. All the pipes had gone back into the wall or stopped, so the walls were bare concrete slabs rather than bricks, which was odd. There was a small gap at the bottom of the wall that I could just only fit through. It was a struggle crawling under as we only had our mobiles for torches, and I'm not the smallest of people. When we got through it, it felt so much colder in this opening than it did in the corridor. The space was also much more spacious than as we could stand up, and the lights from our torches didn't light up the opposite side of the room. The room also smelled really bad. We saw what looked like a decomposed cat, bones, and some fur at the side next to the wall closest to us. Even more freaky was this weird stone arc above the cat had something written on it in red. It was a few years ago, but I vaguely remember it saying something along the lines of, "If you are found here, the school will expel you, but Lucifer shall do much worse." There were a few scratches on the wall and some symbols that we thought were letters, but couldn't make them out. We took some pictures and got the fuck out of there really quickly because we were shitting bricks at that point. It was a fairly prestigious school, so expulsions was probably the scariest thing that could happen to us at that point. I would think getting trapped in the wall and no one finding you would be the scariest part, but whatever. The rooms are called disappointment rooms for the ones that disappoint you. That's so sad. That's heartbreaking that is even a title for a room that it ever was. Oh, I love Harry Potter too. I think the first one was like something that I always wished as a kid I could see. So when it came out and I watched it as an adult, I was like, this is so cool. I know that probably sounds really dorky, but I don't care. I loved it. Saw all the Harry Potter movies. I got lost in the last couple ones. I kind of lost track of the storyline just because I got busy with life, but I really need to go back and watch them from beginning to end. But I don't know, like I'd have to do it by myself, and my husband isn't into it. The books are probably way better anyways. That's what I need to do is read the books. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Welcome to the Red Room. We found a secret room in my aunt's house hidden behind the kitchen cabinets when they were being swapped out. It was this walled off area between the unexpectedly wide chimney and the outside wall, big enough for maybe 3 adults to stand in somewhat uncomfortably. The weirdest part is that it was all painted red. Floor, ceiling, walls, everything. I'm thinking it was probably a pantry, but and someone just had a bad taste in colors, unless there was something else ominous about it besides the red color. Yeah, I watch Threadbanger was another one of my favorite non-horror channels. And Corinne has her own channel too, and she was talking about how when she's doing stuff, she turns on the audiobooks for Harry Potter. And that's what she said the guy's really into it that narrates those. I know what you meant. Everyone knows what you meant. I'm not a grammar Nazi, and yeah, I'm not cool with grammar Nazis anyway. Ooh, I just started a war. Anyway, Frat House of Nightmares. Madison, Wisconsin. Excuse me. I'm sorry, you guys all heard me swallow in the mic, and that really sounded disgusting. So sorry. Anyway, Madison, Wisconsin. I met a college girl that was living in a defunct frat house. They had lost their charter for reasons I didn't know at first. We fell for each other, and I moved in with her. It was a great apartment complex with pool tables and giant showers. So one night we were drunk. She took me to a room that was empty. It had 2 bunk beds, and above one was a secret door hatch. It led to an upstairs room where most of the hazing took place. The story goes that one night during a party in the dead of winter, a girl was gang raped by some of the frat boys. They just left her up there in the cold, and she ended up dying from the freezing to death. One of the frat boys was so distraught by the incident that he went up there one day and painted her picture on the wall. Then he hung himself. While we were up there, I could swear that the eyes in the picture would follow you around the room, and there were reports of crying coming from up there some nights. I never went up there again. Ew, why would they let people live in that house? Ugh. Yikes. So who's been in a frat? Anyone? Checking the chat. Going back. The doll's room. So in elementary school, when I was 8 or 9 years old, I had a friend who had just moved into a new house. I went over while they were still moving everything in. We were looking around at her new place, and we crawled into her closet for whatever reason. While in her closet, I noticed a square that was maybe a foot by foot. After some poking around, the paneling fell out and we could see in. There was a tiny room that was fully carpeted and had a twin bed and doll. Really creepy. So of course we crawled in and looked around. Nothing else seemed out of the ordinary. Her parents freaked out though. Yeah, I think I would freak out too. But also I would be really excited that there was like extra part of the house I didn't even know about. I'm the type of person that would want to live in a house like that. Bernadette, hey! Bernadette is one of my patrons. I should go through here and just mention the patrons that I have that joined me in this live stream, which is go back and Kahlest is one. I'm not sure if the Elana that's here is the Elana that's a new patron. And Bernadette. So just 3, but I want to make sure that you get special attention. The rent better have been cheap. I would love to go to the Winchester house. When I was scrolling through Netflix or was it Prime? I don't know. We have both because I like the shipping discounts that Prime gives you. Anyway, there's an actual like horror movie about the Winchester house that's supposed to be like about the lady that built and lived in the Winchester house. Has anybody watched that movie? I should Google it so you can see it. I'll get back to the stories in just a second. I'm trying to figure out what the name of that movie is. Scary movie Winchester house. But it'll come up. Called. Is it called Winchester? No. Nope. It's called. Yeah, it's called Winchester, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's seen it. Aw, Bernadette, you are awesome. Is it called that? Does anybody know? I don't like tiny doors. I've never checked out my crawl space attic because, oh my gosh, you should do that and then record it. That would be so cool. I don't know if anybody else is a fan of this too, but I'm really big fan of the urban exploration channels. Oh my gosh, and Exploring with Josh. I love watching them. Like oh my gosh does oh my gosh. He does a lot of haunted places, but Exploring with Josh does completely abandoned places. Super cool. A lot of places are just completely left and they were obviously built with great care and detail and a lot of money and people just left them there. Sad. Okay, moving on. Okay, Dad's hiding space. When I was 12, I was looking for something in the closet in my basement. I moved a box and found a very tiny access panel, just small enough for me to crawl into. I removed the access panel and found a finished crawl space underneath the stairs. Looking in the back of the small crawl space, I saw a duffel bag. As the house was older and we were not the original owners, I was sure I had found some long lost treasure. I pulled the bag out and drug it into the living room. I opened the bag and 2 large. Now, before I finish reading this, does anybody have this feeling that it's going to be not good? I didn't read ahead. I'm just reading it and learning as you guys do. But I have this horrible feeling it's going to be something bad. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't even look yet. Just going sentence by sentence, word by word. I opened the bag and 2 large photo albums fell out. I opened the first album and it was full of Polaroids of one of the women in my father's office. In the photos, she was in various states of undress, spread eagle, using a vibrator, tied up, etc. The second album was more of the same. It would have been moderately enjoyable for a young boy. Until I got to the portion where my father was naked and I got to see him showing off and using his cock. I got to see him banging her from first person POV, her sucking his dick. So many youth scarring action shots. So that was the second worst fucking discovery I ever made. I basically learned my lesson about being a snoop and don't go looking for secret passageways anymore. Oh, come on. I mean, that was traumatic, but you know, that's really bad. Like I don't know how you get past that one. What? Bernadette. My mom sold my baby brother. What? I'm in shock. I don't know what to say except for I'm so sorry. That doesn't even cover it. Like an air cooler. I've heard that, I don't know what era you grew up in. It could have been any era for all I know. But I know that in the Great Depression, there were people desperate because they didn't have any food for themselves or their kids, and selling their children was a desperate way to get money. That does not mean that it was okay, and it certainly doesn't mean that that was your mother's scenario. I'm just saying I have heard of that before in desperate situations, um, for families that were looking to adopt someone and families that were desperate for someone to take care of their children. So I'm very sorry about that, Bernadette. I feel like you and I could exchange some stories and you will top me every time because I I don't want to go into too much detail, but there's a lot of times when people talk about regular scenarios and I really feel like I can't participate in some of them because they'll just be like, "Oh, that's so sad." Like, I feel like sometimes I just don't want to tell people about certain parts of my life because they're too sad and it's been a long time. Of course, you still deal with it forever. Um, but for them, it's the first time that they've heard it, and then they're looking at you in a different way, and it's just. But Bernadette, I'm so sorry for that. Wish I could hug you right now. Picture me hugging you. It doesn't even begin to graze the surface of your pain. I'm very sorry. Have you ever spoken to your brother or found him? Do you know what happened to him? Anyone there? I'm not seeing anything. Okay, I'm thinking that something's happening here. Everything looks okay on my end, so I'm going to read until someone says that they can't hear me. Home of the Gnomes. When my brother and I were kids, we found a floor hatch in his room. It was hidden under the linoleum and tightly shut, but we managed to get it open. Underneath was a flight of stairs leading to a single room with cement walls and nothing in it except a bed frame and small table. The realtor who sold our family the house had no idea it existed, and neither had the people who lived there before us or anyone else we asked. Still don't know why it was hidden or what it was for. The house was built in the 1930s. My child brain at the time assumed it was there where the garden gnomes lived. Wow. Yeah, second of silence. Black market. I hear you. I can hear you. Um, I think that's how it starts, or people are desperate. Um, but mainly, I know that human trafficking exists now because people are tricked into scenarios. They're kidnapped. Um, they're drugged. The list goes on and on. But yeah, it's all bad. Um, where are their hall passes? My old high school was built in the 1800s. It was a very beautiful building and stood 4 stories tall. Stories tall. Blah. There are lots of stairs throughout the building, and near one corner of the building are stairs that no one ever uses, very far from all the classrooms. So during my senior year, my buddy and I were wasting time just wandering the hallways, and we got to these seldom used stairs. We were on the bottom floor and noticed that there were stairs leading down to another level below. We followed those stairs and noticed they led to a door which was cracked open. We went inside the door and it led to a large room filled with cubicles and dozens of employees and computers. The weird thing was, none of those employees were school staff. We were seniors. We'd seen everyone for 4 years. We were confused and we left. We tried to return a few times later, but the door leading to the room was always locked. This was in 2006, and I still wonder who the hell all those people were. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. Yes, I am live now, Bernadette. I think that you usually do miss the live stream, I think. But you got it now. You see how the live chat has got people talking right now. The confusing part is that YouTube has this feature now, like if you go back to the live stream after it's done streaming, and then the chat's still there, like it's still happening. It's really confusing to me too, because there's a few people that I watched that live stream and you're trying to see like the comment section, but you can't. It's just the top chat. I don't know. I kind of don't like that part, but I read somewhere that the price of a human is cheaper now than ever. Yeah, Anthony Bourdain, Kate Spade. We could talk about suicide for a minute if you'd like to. I think it's important to talk about it. I think not talking about it helps no one. Talking about it might help someone. It's a dark. I think that when someone gets to that point in their psyche, they are out of mental options. It doesn't matter what your point of view is of their pain. Their point of view of their pain is so bad that they can't go on, whether that's realistic or not. All you can do for someone like that is be there for them. Make sure they don't hurt within your own power. Make sure they don't hurt themselves. Obviously, you can't be with someone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Make sure they have someone around. Make sure that they know they can call you any hour of the night, anytime. Make sure you seek out someone like that. I know there's been a few times where people will reach out to me or I'll reach out to them when I know that there's something going on with them. Just try to talk to them, because I know that there's a few people, other horror narrators, that were going through some things, and they, try to talk about it on Twitter, and then people are like, no one wants to hear that. But quite frankly, everyone needs to hear that. Everyone struggles. And someone telling you to shut up about pain you're going through helps no one. Let's see. Says that poor guy, time to buy a bride. Oh, human trafficking. Like when I was told I am clinically psychotic. Seemed like he was happy. It's kind of fishy how all these famous people are committing suicide. There was a conspiracy theory stating that there were people like Michael Jackson and Prince were talking about the Illuminati, supposedly. That's one of the many conspiracy theory things. Actually, maybe Shane Dawson was talking about that in his conspiracy theory video, about how since they started talking about it, they were both found in a very similar fashion. I don't remember them ever talking about it, though. There's like a video clip of Michael Jackson talking about it, and then supposedly that led to his downfall. So I don't know. Illuminati confirmed. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that money controls a lot of stuff, so it's just there's some really, really dark things going on in that genre, so that's a whole nother video. Next is meeting your insect neighbors. At my grandparents' old country house, there was a removable piece of board in the back of one of the upstairs bedroom closets, and behind it was a small passageway that led to an open space with a window on the side of the house. I crawled in once, and only once, because on the way out, I glanced to the side and realized the corners of the corridor were filled with giant fucking huntsman spiders, like a dozen palm-sized huntsmen. And that was just the one corner. Fuck that. God, I hope you told your parents or grandparents. Her house was overtaken by spiders. Could have all been avoided. That sucks. Oh, is it rendering again? Cat Williams outright says the Illuminati in an interview. Oh, I'll have to look for that video clip. A fallout shelter that failed to live up to its name. I bought a complex in Boston's North End as an investor, which is going to be turned into luxury apartments. We ended up finding a manhole-type latch under the basement floorboards, which led to a long concrete pathway that zigzagged and ended at the basement across the street, which had another latch under its floorboards. Initially, we had been told it was part of the Underground Railroad and that enslaved people could travel in secret between buildings using it. We later found out it was actually supposed to serve as a fallout shelter for the previous owner and was built in the 70s. It was eerie nonetheless, and some dogs have burned to death inside. How does it go from being a tunnel to dogs have burned to death inside? Seems like there was a chunk of that story left out. No? Checking the chat. What do you think about pennies? Do you like them? Should we get rid of them? That is true horror. Pennies? I mean, I don't even really use paper money anymore. I never carry actual paper money on me. Number one, I think you just spend more of it that way. Is that not true? But then, I mean, there's times where you wish you had like a quarter on you or something, which I think I have a couple quarters on me, but I don't keep paper money on me ever. Am I the oddball out there? Or does everybody else just keep like their debit card? I try to keep it really simple. Doors upon doors upon doors. I found an old room and an old bed and breakfast that used to be in my extended family. We would go over there over the summer for about a week and just have fun. Although I would try to make short films while I was there. That was my idea of fun. Yeah, that would be my idea of fun too. The owners really didn't like anyone going in the basement because it was considered dangerous due to all of the rusty tools and metal pieces under the lumber, with nails sticking out of it all over the place. Naturally, I hung out down there because it was also spooky, and that kind of stuff fascinates me. On the outside of the basement, there's a screen door leading in. They had recently redid the entire parking lot with a new layer of dirt and gravel, so the door was buried halfway. You could see the other side of the door easily in the basement. Because of this, I never really paid any mind to all the other doors in the basement on the back wall. I thought it was another door that was blocked off for the dirt from the parking lot. Well, one day I decided to open it and found a little dirt and cobblestone tunnel that led underneath the foundation of the house. It was really dark, and there were lots of spiders, probably snakes, so I didn't crawl all the way through the tunnel, but I certainly tried. But that's not all. A little further in, there was another door to the right that went straight to the foundation. I opened it into a pitch black room. So now I was shitting myself and terrified to go in because I couldn't see. I turned on my phone flashlight and entered this little room. It was so dark in there that my phone flashlight didn't do a lot of good. But then I noticed a small light switch. I turned it on and revealed a table with a chair caked in dust and a few things sprawled across the room. It was like a little hidden house under the fucking foundation. My immediate thought is, this is where they must have kept some sort of unwanted child or some fucked up shit, but I basically hightailed it out of there. But before leaving, I noticed another door on the back wall in this room. I tried opening it, but it was sealed shut, probably to keep out the Lovecraftian horror that was trapped on the other side. Eventually, I asked the owner what the hell that room was, and he said it was an old potato cellar, and he used to go in there and drink whiskey when he wanted to get away from everyone who was pissing him off. But I still don't really believe him. Potato cellar. Sure. Well, that's the last of that one. Well, no, a debit card, not a credit card. You have a budget, don't you? You give yourself a budget? Mm, yes, but you have to budget your money. You have to know what you're going to spend on what things. Like, I even have a budget for gas. Otherwise, you just drive all over the place, piss all your gas money, all your money away on gas, and you won't know where your money went. Am I the only alien out on that one? I don't know if I can read any more stories. We've been doing this about 2 hours. Does anybody have any recommendations, requests, or anything they want to bring up while we're in the chat here? Because after this, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm waiting. Do, 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 do. Bernadette. Great. Not really. I just spend what I have. Huh. Yeah. Don't you have stuff that you save for? You know what? To each his own. I know that. Okay. Thanks for all the creepy stories. No, thank you guys for joining me. Bernadette, don't forget to send me your birth date on Patreon. I sent you a message, by the way. Just make more stories, videos about micropastas. Those are my favorite element. Those, I don't know what it is about those. I just can't get enough of them. I just love them. One of my favorite ones is probably that 5 micro horror stories I did back in October. I don't know why I loved that one, but it was just like they're so messed up. Vampire stories. If I can find some, Roger, I definitely will. 2-sentence horror stories. Those are hard to do because so many people have already done them all. I'm satisfied. True. I'm just poor. Yes. I'm just reading the comments. Micropastas. Yeah, I love the micropastas too, element. Okay, again, the most most recent one you did. What one was that one? They feel there is no way out. Oh, Bernadette's back in the chat when we were talking about suicide. Let me see here. What's the one I did last week? I don't remember what it was. I'm drawing a blank now. Oh no. Oh no. I don't think it's going to show me either, will it? Yeah, I don't know. So if anybody knows that off the top of their head, that'd be fantastic, but I can't remember. All right. All right. So I'm going to say goodnight to you guys, and I'm really glad you guys came and listened. I'm out. I'm out. Damn gypsy, I'm out. Like the one about the guy who had his girlfriend's eyes. Yeah. In his pocket. Yeah, I like that one too. I like the one about the girl whose mother is teaching her how to play the piano. In the most sadistic way ever. It was 2 weeks ago. The girlfriend's eyes was 2 weeks ago? No. I know. I'll look it up. All right. On that note, I'm going to say good night and thank you for joining me. And I should have a video up tomorrow. And until next time, bye. Bye. Bye.